Hello everybody and welcome to my new video series, Quarantine Comics. I am writing this because I have 2 weeks with nothing to do because I'm stuck in quarantine without schoolwork. What to do? So I'm going to be reviewing 3 comics every day. Could be individual issues, could be whole trades. Depends on my time and really what's recommended to me. I'm going to be reviewing one old. That can be 6 months, a year, 2 years, just something that's always going to be a part of my collection. I'm also going to be reviewing something new. That's probably going to be a comic that just came out this last month that I have not read yet. And it's just going to be my knee-jerk reaction to what I think about it. And the last one is going to be a recommendation. Today's recommendation actually comes from my husband, the world's leading Legion expert, if you ask him. Don't ask him. So, book number 1 today is going to be Young Justice 14. Let me get that up there. I have been enjoying this series. This did not disappoint. I feel like the story is very slow, and that's just the writer's style, is slow-moving stories with big payoffs at the end of story arcs. This one was the end of a story arc, and it really encompassed what I like about Young DC. Young DC is ambitious. It really does speak to unity and working together. And that's different than a lot of other comics where everyone seems like they're at each other's throats. A little poke, poke, nudge, nudge over at the competition at the other team. For me, the best single panel for this was Bart running to find Sideways and Sideways saying, "I know you." The whole entire thing was just cute. Bart finding these wayward heroes to add to Young Justice was just, it reminded me of when I first started reading comics. And one of the first things I ever read was Impulse. And Impulse is just always spontaneous and does things his own way. Kind of what happens when you're raised by video games. The next one for me, and this one is the oldie but a goodie, and it's not that old. I think it's about 6 months old, but it's Black Canary Ignite. This is a part of the DC Zoom series. This is a series of trades meant for young readers. And for me, this was one of the best things I've read of the last year. I am a Black Canary superfan. I actually have my hashtag Got Canary shirt on right now. It hit every single thing I like about Canary. My favorite panel in this is whenever you first see her powers ignite. Go back to the title there. When you first see her powers ignite, she really does give you something that's a little more substantial in just one panel. You get to see a teenage girl just being happy, and then you get to see what she looks like when she realizes her happiness might have caused destruction. It's a duality in one panel that you don't get to see often. And creator shout out this week, this episode, for me is going to be Kira McGee. She is the artist of Black Canary Ignite. For me, she is one of the sweetest people I got a chance to meet at C2E2 this year. She really wanted to deliver Canary in this book, and deliver Canary so that way longtime fans like me that are, got the stink eye on it, can enjoy it, but also so that way these new, young, fresh eyes that are going to be, the next generation of comic readers can grow to love her as well. And in this story, you get to follow Dinah from not knowing anything to actually understanding her mother, her father, her power, her abilities to. And it's all of these different little nuggets of Canaryisms that just make me happy. They just make me sing just a little bit. And her art, Kira McGee's art, is playful enough so that way young readers can enjoy it, but it's detailed enough so that way it doesn't feel like us as older readers are given something that's dumbed down a little bit. I personally enjoyed it more than I actually expected to. Like I said, it's one of my favorite things of the last year I've read. Now for the recommendation. This is Legion of Superheroes number 4. Number 4, and this was recommended to me by my husband, who I will call the Legion of Super Spouse, because, he's just, he's something. His favorite thing is Legion of Superheroes, and I've always been reluctant on it. It kind of felt Star Trek-y to me. And I like Star Trek as Star Trek. I don't need Star Trek and comics put together. But I have been reading this new series. It's done by the same creator, the same writer as Young Justice. Young Justice has another co-writer with it as well. This one is just Bendis by himself. And I really, really, I enjoyed it. It was a fun read. You got to really see this Legion, they're flexing their muscles a little bit. I really appreciated Triplicate Girl in the beginning, actually giving us an understanding of her powers, because until this point, she's only showed up as the Triplicate, not actually as one. But they are all one. It's their own thing, and I really appreciated them actually giving us a little bit of detail in there. My favorite panel in this was actually when you got to see Lightning Lass and Lightning Lad defending these people. Just really the expressive nature that the artist gave to each of their faces was something I quite gravitated to. Particularly Lightning Lass. She is just, don't mess with me. Don't make this a thing. She is very, I will go head to head with you, police. And I found it very relevant to the world that we're living in right now. That's a big deal to me. I like my comics to be a little relevant. I know that there's always the underlying thing that being relevant might lead to being a little bit dated later on. But not always. Not always. Good relevance always comes back, because social justice as a relevance is something that can always be turned back, because we're always fighting for something. Those are my comics today. I'm planning on doing one a day for the next 2 weeks, one of these videos. Please enjoy. It's been a bit of a struggle for me to figure out how to do this, but I'm actually having fun, and I needed a project. So if you enjoy it, please subscribe.